Thank you, John, and good morning, everybody. It's good to see you once again this morning. I'll briefly take you through the terms of reference under which Sally produced the study that she's going to present to us this morning. What you have in the folder right at the face of the study is the terms of reference, and I'm glad these terms of reference were circulated to you earlier on before the study started, and some of you had an opportunity to comment and input into the terms of reference. So in terms of comprehending, it should be a smooth process.
The objective of the study was to understand and to disseminate the market access requirements for each of the markets and each of the products in order to effectively enhance the market access and to facilitate trade through market understanding. And I'd just like to congratulate the MSG Secretariat for coming up with such a fantastic study, and I feel very fortunate to have been able to do it. I think this is the beginning of a very exciting road for MSG countries to go down, because increasing your exports is the best way to improve your economies and to increase GDP. And here we have the start of it. So it's very exciting. Tendai has already outlined the products and the markets. Some very good products in there, particularly coconut oil and cocoa beans, very exciting future for both of those products. The way that I did the study was I interviewed importers and manufacturers in each of those 5 markets. And if you do want to get detailed information about what each of the importers said, John and Tendai have the transcripts of the interviews, and there's some very, very good information that's not in the report in those interviews. I also visited retail stores to see what kind of retail products all of our exports are going into. And I'll come back with a couple which I'll pass around later that I think MSG countries could be actually doing here in terms of adding value. And for the market access data, I basically just used Google and searched the internet and found all the relevant ministry websites. So that wasn't quite so difficult to do. So just so that you can get your geographic bearings, I started off in Sydney, Australia, and I have to say that the Pacific Trade and Invest offices, which some of you may be familiar with, that are run out of the PIPS, Pacific Island Forum Secretariat in Suva, were really, really helpful. The market data has come from the International Trade Centre, and I'm not sure if people have heard of the International Trade Centre, but they have a website, and on that website there is a statistics area, and Tendai may be telling us more about this later, I'm not sure. It's called Trade Map, and this is where I have got all of the data from. And I understand that the data has come from each of the countries through SPC and has ended up on Trade Map. So the recommendations aren't my opinion. They're basically what the importers and the manufacturers were telling me. So these recommendations have come straight from each of those markets. They're telling me that coconut oil has potential to be a really significant export revenue earner for all of the MSG countries. Of the 2 main product types, virgin coconut oil has better potential for adding value and getting higher prices.
Just give additional markets to the list that you have provided. The prime market that we targeted is Australia, being the number 1. Second is Philippines. Philippines is our second salt timber market. Third is New Zealand. 4th is China. 5th is Malaysia. 6th is New Caledonia. And 7th is Belgium. We tried a European market, and Belgium is the first one that we accessed, but because of the low quality, we need to improve the preparation of the salt timber to enter those markets. I hope that in the coming future we will increase the export of our timber. And with the backup of NEPCON, third party to give this legality assurance service to our business owners, we will enter more markets and increase the quantity of our soft timber. And we've got a forest, so we will still increase the quantity and be consistent in the market. I think that's what I want to say.
In Fiji now we have a company called Chakimai that is actually now producing, processing kava as a beverage. And you find that again it's one way of trying to get around it, because if it falls, according to the categorization, if it falls under beverage, like an ingredient, then it has no problem, I think, getting there. Probably I think we can try to look at those innovative ways of trying to make sure that, because I know like in the Pacific, Vanuatu, especially I think kava has got some sentimental attachment to it. And even just like in Fiji, it's something that we seriously work closely on with Vanuatu to push this particular aspect forward. And every time we have bilateral meetings at whatever level, even at the level of Prime Minister, we make sure that the issue of kava actually is discussed with both the authorities.
Just to assist Solomon Islands on the queries and struggles that to do with exports to Australia and New Zealand. I think you and I know that Australia, as I said yesterday, Australia has the new law that was passed in 2011 or 12, the Prohibition Act regarding forestry products, and we had a very big problem trying to enter the market when that act came, because all our products, even the processed products, were considered illegal. So we had an understanding with them in which we came up with the country-specific guidelines for Papua New Guinea, in which they have accepted. So our trading started, and what we are using for the same guidelines are used for exporting to New Zealand as well. That's on the website. You can access that, our country-specific guidelines for Papua New Guinea.
We will try to look at the hybrid one, the short rotation one, so that maybe it'll avoid the cycle that might hit within many years. But we tried it with the hybrid, and maybe the quality was not there, and I believe we are going back to the original Fiji tone, as we call it. And we are finding ways to ensure that we find the best species that can be resilient on, especially the cycles that we are always susceptible to, and that is some of the challenges that we are facing. Cocoa did not work well for us. We've been working on it for many years. The agriculture ministry have been establishing farms almost around the island, and still looking at the record, we did not have much in terms of exporting of our cocoa beans. But the cover it's also, any cyclone comes in, we will always affect it, same as timber. Yeah. The risk is always there for the products that we have